Hey, how's it going? This is Gabe Kasper, and you guys are tuning in to the weekly Relapse.
Dude, I was hoping you'd mess it up and you didn't. You fucking nailed it. You can tell you've done this before.
Yes, professional.
You are listening to the Weekly Relapse with your host, Skylar.
I maybe should have checked the audio volumes. That was kind of loud. Dude, that bass is so nasty, dude. It's like disgusting.
Makes
how
it
good that
sound
is.
like a 70s cop show.
It's so good. It's my friend Sam Quattlebaum. He's unbelievable. Actually, before we get started, I want to thank everybody for tuning in because I almost jumped right into a story. Gabe Kasper,
Yes.
one of my good buddies. I'm excited. I'm finally glad. Like, this is the second time you've been on.
Yeah,
I've
second
been
time.
slacking like a motherfucker when it comes to podcasts.
Dude, you're telling
but
me,
it's
man.
the lack of I don't have a lot of new guests,
Mm.
and then I don't know if my listeners just want to hear me and my friends kick it all the time.
Yeah.
So like I kind of took a step back and was like, I'll do it when we have a reason, and not
Yeah.
just do it all the time for no reason. I'm probably gonna jump back into doing it all the time for no reason because it's way more fun.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I've been slacking off on mine, too, because I'm trying to do, like, a good blend between my guest episodes and my solo episodes, because I want, like, a good 50-50 split.
right.
And then every time where I'm thinking, oh, I might have just a sliver of time this week for podcasting, I keep going back and forth with saying, should I invite somebody? I don't want to invite somebody and the plans fuck up.
Dude,
but-
I'll do the Office. We can do this. Fuck it. This is your podcast now, and we're just talking about the Office. I'm just kidding. I haven't been on yours, so.
No, not
I'm
yet.
excited.
man.
I haven't
We'll-
been on
we'll-
Matt's either, but it's usually because like first off, I don't like I'm a homebody. I don't leave my house a lot.
Yeah.
Second was every time that we would get set up, like something would happen. Like he would either be busy or I'd be busy or I'd be.
That's what was going on with my second appearance on this podcast, because
Yeah.
this is like our third try to
Yeah.
get me on, and this time it actually came through.
And what sucks is I hate canceling on plans that I like to do.
Same.
But there's just some days, man. Like I'll wake up and I have no energy to do anything. Sometimes I'm just like lately it's been really weird with that. Well, what I was gonna say before when we first started, that bass. So that dude he used to be in a band here in town called Scenic River Roots, I believe was the name of the band.
Huh.
And that band that we just heard is Beat Bodega. Well, he was in town. Like this is like probably I may have just started doing comedy, so 4 maybe 5 years ago. Everybody in the band happened to be that was in Scenic River because they've all moved away. Happened to be in town, so they did like a little reunion concert thing at Leftwoods, and it was phenomenal, right? It was so much fun. But at one point, this old dude, like in a fucking hat, white mustache, walks on stage with a harmonica, and then starts battling. Like they have like one-on-one battles. So he
Holy
battles my
shit.
friend Tessima, and he's on guitar. He's nasty at the guitar. So like they're going back and forth. I have it all on video. I found the video on my phone. Like yesterday or the day before. I didn't know I had it. I had forgot all about it. But the reason I bring it up is because that harmonica dude battled a saxophone player, and it is I remember it so well. Like it was like I can't say life changing, but dude, something about that moment was like better than most moments in my life. Does that make sense?
Really? Yeah.
It was so powerful. I don't know, dude. And like dude, it instantly made me fall in love with the saxophone.
Yeah.
Love the saxophone.
Music
now.
can do that. There's a lot of ways like music can have that impact of like just in a good way of scarring your memory.
And bad ways.
Yeah.
I was hanging out with this dude, and he showed me. There's a song. I'll never pull the name out of my head again. Like, "Dance with the Devil." It's "Dance with the Devil." I can't. Immortal Technique. "Dance with the Devil," and it's a very horrific song.
Really?
Very. And I didn't know this guy well. Like, if I showed you the song, it probably wouldn't change your opinion about me. Because you know me.
Yeah.
I didn't know this guy. This was the first time we ever really hung out, and he shows me this song, and it's a horrible song. I don't want to okay, so it's talking about a dude who wants to be hardcore, like a gangbanger, you know?
Yeah.
And so he starts like stepping up his hustle, and then he gets it mixed in, and the gang wants him to prove himself, so they're basically gonna go kidnap a girl and rape her, and then that was the test, right?
Wow.
Well, they end up doing it, and then like as he pulls the bag off the lady's head, it was his mom, right? But this is all in like lyrical form, like a 7-minute song.
Damn.
It's a horrible song.
Does it at least sound good?
Yeah, it's an amazing song. Like, it's a really cool song.
There's a lot of songs
horrible,
that
dude.
do that, where it's like it's really fucked up lyrics, but the song, like the beat, is actually like a banger.
Oh yeah,
Like
dude.
what was that one they had about the school shooting? Pumped Up Kicks.
Yeah, that one, and
That's fucked up.
It's
But
got to be hard to cover that song now.
probably, yeah.
It's got to be almost impossible.
Plus, like, I think with how relevant that subject is, I've yet to see like this song come on the radio and somebody's like, "Turn that shit up, man. Let's fucking go." Like,
Yeah, this
nobody's
is
jamming in their
like
car to that song.
Party, I would. There's a song out on the radio because I don't listen to the radio very often, but I've like delivering pizzas. I'll forget to turn on a podcast or something like in between deliveries.
Yeah.
And I heard it, and it's like talking about. It's clearly about a relationship, is what it sounds like to me. And he was like, the lights got cut off. You got hooked on OxyContin.
Whoa.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I feel like I do.
It's a really popular song, but it sounds happy.
Yeah.
Like, but the words are dark.
Here's the thing for me. One of the ones I remember, like banging out to it and then not paying attention to the lyrics until later was it was a song by Avenged Sevenfold.
The Glorious Sons. Yeah, Sawed Off Shotgun. That's one of the. You know the song?
I think I do. Can you play it?
Yeah, I'll give you a little.
Okay, yeah, I do know this song.
Like, it sounds happy, but the words are pretty dark, I think. It kind of has that pumped up kicks.
Yeah.
Everybody's acting like they're all alright. I can barely get myself to sleep at night. I'm sick of it. Yeah, I'm sick.
I never noticed those horns before.
Yeah, they said the tax man. I lost my job and you got hooked on Oxycontin. They shut the lights off.
Yeah, holy shit.
Maybe
this
it's
is
about
dark.
his mom.
I bought a sawed-off shotgun. Yeah, they said the tax man. I lost my job and you got hooked on Oxycontin. They shut the lights off. They took the car and I bought a sawed-off shotgun. I'd rather be crazy than to take these pills. I'm sick of being okay.
This feels so weird when
Dude,
I'm
it's-
listening to it, completely aware of how dark it is. It feels like a weird sort of brainwashing.
It's like a. Yeah, it's like a creepy movie. It's like a good movie that has a creepy element to it.
yeah,
Or something. Maybe, I don't know.
It's kinda like watching
It's like
the-
the villain of a Marvel movie.
or it's kind of like,
Like
watching
the
this.
Joker, he's all happy and
Yeah.
stuff, but underneath it's all chaos.
I had that feeling. I went back and watched the Santa Claus
with Tim Allen.
With Tim Allen, and I went back and watched it as an adult,
It's
and I was like,
scary.
I was like, that guy fucking killed Santa.
Yeah,
that guy
dude.
fucking murdered him.
On top of that, like he killed Santa,
Took
but
his
then
clothes.
Imagine being like I watched it where I was like, that would suck.
Yeah.
That would suck so bad to
That's
be
what I-
stuck in that position.
That's what I remember. Like as a kid, I remember seeing that and going, "Oh, cool, he's Santa." Blah, blah. And then going back to watching it as an adult, I was like, "That guy's life is over." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, divorce wasn't even the worst thing that happened to this guy. Becoming Santa is the worst fucking thing for him.
Have you watched Nate Bargatze's new special?
No.
God damn it! I want to talk to somebody about this. He has a bit about The Sixth Sense, the movie, right?
yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna spoil it. he's like, it's been 20 years. You know what I mean? And then he's he's dead the whole time. It's a pretty big deal, you know. And he's like, but when you found out he was dead, when you watched it for the first time and you found out he was dead, it was like mind blowing. You would have never guessed that. He's like, we just thought it was his wife didn't talk to him for a year. That made
Yeah.
more sense to us than ever thinking. It was like, this is a movie about marriage. I get it. It's tough. And like the way he talks about it was so beautiful. But yeah,
I love seeing comedians that do that. Like I loved watching John Mulaney explain Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "There's a kid, and his best friend is a mad scientist."
Or what is he does another one where he's like, Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I know this is kind of an old movie to complain about, but I wasn't a comedian then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd really like to do that at one point, like do a really long description. I did do a bit. this one time.
It's hard. I did
yeah.
that. I did that one about the bear fight, like the
Yeah,
lie.
I actually really like that joke.
I liked it too, but it was very uncomfortable to do.
That's what it was for me with this one bit that I tried well, it feels like a long time for me, a long time back, and it was me describing the weirdest episode of To Catch a Predator I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And the whole time, like, as I'm saying it, like, I had him at first, and then as I'm carrying on with it and I'm describing how weird this episode is, I'm like, okay, people are uncomfortable.
You know what's really weird is when that whole R. Kelly thing really brought, like, I feel like To Catch a Predator is making a comeback in the comedy world. Like, I hear a lot of people referencing To Catch a Predator. It's all different styles. Like, Matt has that one that's hilarious about Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Yeah, I love that.
And I watched Tosh.0 last night,
Yeah.
and there was it was an old episode, but they busted. I guess there's a YouTube channel about, like, it's like every girl's guaranteed to be under 18, and like they're like eating, like some of them are gymnastics and stuff. Like it's a real
Oh,
creepy.
yeah,
And it has like a collective 12 billion views with all their videos.
Yeah.
And so they so they had a guy show up, like, I threw my own like meet and greet to, and he did like a Catch a Predator kind of thing.
Yeah.
And no bullshit, at one point, like, he pulls out a 6-pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh,
and it made me
fuck.
laugh so much harder because of Matt's joke.
One of my guilty pleasures is going back and rewatching To Catch a Predator.
Why?
I've re-binged that show so many times.
can't
I've
talk shit.
I've followed all of the Reddit pages that are about that, knowing like behind the scenes stuff, like the stuff that tells you where the predators are now and stuff, or like the text chats that they don't show on the show. You can find them. So
That's
like,
weird,
I
Gabe.
plunge deep into this show. It is so
But
fucking weird.
I say that's
but
weird,
it
but I look up-
fascinates the hell out of me.
I like parallel universe stories.
I do
Like
those
dark,
too.
like Slapped Ham YouTube
Yeah.
channel. I love that YouTube channel. Shout out to them.
But it's just, To Catch a Predator just fascinates me. I think because almost every dude that gets caught by Chris Hansen is kind of like, no, I've seen the show before, and I see how sick these people are, and I think they should be arrested. I'm like, you do realize you're on the show right now. Like, you're not on the spinoff show. You're on To Catch a Predator. And I mean, there's this guy I watch called Mr. Gigi on YouTube who does like really good analysis of every single episode, and he's also does commentary comedy on it. So, and he's super hilarious.
You're blowing my mind.
But he had this really cool perspective that I actually kind of agree with, where he's like, I really don't think all of these dudes are necessarily pedophiles. Like dudes that like hid in their basement wanting to fuck kids their whole life.
That's a
and then
pedophile.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not like those people. But these people were like, I think a lot of them are like desperate, lonely dudes, and that online chats are like their only way to communicate with people. And then I think they just kind of compromise, like how lonely dudes do on Tinder. They just kind of compromise to the point where they're like, fuck it, I guess a 12-year-old's fine. And then they just compromise to the point where they went in and then they got caught.
That's
like
so-
To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't make it right.
Oh, no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying it makes it right. I'm just saying the thought process, I don't think the thought process is the same for each dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, you know Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I've been watching a lot of him lately. Matt had talked about him.
He's a very
I'd
interesting
seen like
guy.
clips and stuff. I find him to be one of the most interesting people I've ever seen in my life. Like 100%. Watching him break down Disney movies
Yeah.
is fascinating. And just the way he talks, like I think I like him a lot too because I have an anger problem. Like I'm hot-headed, and he is too.
Yeah.
And I can see it in his personality.
He's
And
got a very,
I
stern anger.
level with him on that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, well, I'm envious because I can tell he knows how to control it,
Yeah.
whereas I don't have that yet. And I really am, because like he can channel whenever someone makes him angry, he's able to stay on point, and not even stay on point, but like bring it down to a pinhead, and like really fixate on one part of the question
Yeah.
that is the main point of the question, and he removes every element of them trying to trap him.
Yeah.
And I think if you're angry and you don't have that type of focus, that's when the camera makes you look really bad.
Yeah.
But he's figured out a way to just zone in on the actual meat and importance of the question, and everything else that you said or misquoted about him, he's gonna point out really quickly and then jump straight back into the point.
Yeah.
And like you can tell when he gets angry, and it multiplies how much he wants to make his point.
One of the things I want is, I mean, I don't think he explicitly says it, but from where I see when he talks to people, whether it's discussions or debates or just interviews, is that when people ask him questions or they're bringing up a topic, like you said, I think he's one of those people that like has studied the human psyche so much that he understands when somebody asks a question a certain way, he understands what's behind it.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the question's hiding.
Well, yeah, 'cause-
and then from there, he's like you said, he brings up, like, he kind of brings it to the raw essentials and goes, okay, you said this, so how about we working into that? I'm very fascinated with people who talk about the human psyche or, like, any projects that involve the human psyche. Like I said, that's part of the reason why I like To Catch a Predator, because it just, when you look at, like, the deeper elements of the show, or, like, people that have analyzed the show, or psychiatrists that have gone in and, like, done dossiers on every single person that's been caught, it just, like, when you take a deep trip down, like, the human psyche, it's, like, it's just like opening Pandora's box in a way.
And then listening to somebody like that can teach you a lot about yourself.
Yes. I remember, like, watching a whole playlist of Jordan Peterson talking about
Psychopaths.
yeah, psychopaths, and then he was doing a lot of lectures on, like, the young male psyche, and, like, doing this whole thing where he's like, this is what men are thinking through when they're in a public setting of about 50 or so people, and this is what's going on through their minds, or this is what happens when you mix anxiety with other forms of social awkwardness, and he goes through it. It fascinates the hell out of me.
Whenever he was talking about psychos, and he's like a client, he's like, you're dealing with somebody who is schizophrenic or paranoid, do not lie to them.
Yeah.
Do not lie to them. He's like, the moment you lie to them, they'll know, because they're paranoid. They're at a state of awareness is through the roof. They're watching every little move you do. And, like, I know some people who are, like, I guess you can call them kind of paranoid. Maybe I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
I have my moments.
Yeah, I mean, I like to be paranoid. I think it's, like, it's something I look for. Like, I'm not genuinely a paranoid person.
Yeah.
But I love looking up scary stuff on YouTube and being like, oh, fuck, like, what if somebody was just standing outside my door? Like, I watched a video last night of YouTubers that were followed, like, in public. Like, people
really?
that were stalked. You know what I mean? Like, they had videos of their neighbors, like, filming them over the fence, and then, like, people breaking into their house, and
People are fucking crazy.
and like, so that shit will make me paranoid.
That's part of the reason, like, in a weird way, it's like, I mean, I do want to be successful as a comedian, but I don't want to be so successful that shit is a concern in my life. Like, in a way, I still kind of want to be a nobody.
Well, I do. I think you have to reach a really, really high level. I mean, you have to have hundreds of thousands of followers.
I mean, I know you mean, like, hundreds of thousands of followers, but I mean, like, for a certain amount of, like, of fame, you get, like, just having fame to any degree just kind of brings in the chance of having a stalker or having somebody who just, like,
My mom
for some
hit me
reason
up one
points
time
you out.
because I guess one of her clients' daughters was talking about me, and she was like, the way she's talking about you isn't healthy, Skylar. And I was like, well, honestly, it didn't bug me at all. It didn't. She was like in love with you. And I was like, cool. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't think she's going to hurt me. Like, if it ever gets to a level like that, then I'll be concerned. But the fact that somebody maybe found me interesting enough that they like me is not a concern to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
It rarely happens. I can tell you that. I've tried it in, like, interactions with people. It's really hard to get somebody to like you.
Yeah.
So, like, you know what I mean? So it didn't, like, my mom seemed genuinely concerned. And I was like, dude, I think it's going to be fine. You know what I mean?
I think that's actually probably the case with a lot of stalkers, especially when it's a stalker in the case of, like, entertainer and
they
entertainee.
find you interesting, and I think if you gave them the time of day, they'd probably stop.
Yeah.
You know, but, like, freaking out on them is not going to help.
Yeah.
But
that's
then-
probably, I would honestly love to see, like, Jordan Peterson going into, like, a stalker mentality. Because
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, a common thing, like you said, is, like, when you tell them to stop and you're like, hey, quit doing it, then it's just only going to kind of drive them more. But if you indulge it, I mean, that's
Just
probably
slightly,
not the right. Yeah.
like, not at your house. Like, don't invite them over.
But,
maybe
like,
go
if
to
you-
Taco Bell with them or
Yeah.
something. Do hey, you want to grab lunch sometime?
Yeah.
Don't be weird about it, and then, like, let them know where your comfort level's at.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm comfortable hanging out with you. Don't follow me.
Yeah.
Like, hit me up, text me sometime.
Yeah.
Like, I can't hang out with you every day, but maybe, like, once a month, maybe. You know. And if it
Kinda
gets
like,
weird, then get a restraining order. I mean,
kind of like, what was that Jim Carrey movie where he's following around Matthew Broderick? The Cable Guy.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's a good stalker story, is the Cable Guy.
There are people who are out there to stalk and hurt people, though. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, yeah. There are bad.
it's a
people.
weird world.
Dude. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like people, like what people do, and sorry, I just got a text from this comic from New York. He was supposed
That's
to be
fine.
in town
Some
tomorrow.
comics are more important than others. I get it,
Well,
Skylar.
he's gonna be here tomorrow, and I guess he just said that he's gonna stay wherever he's at an extra night. So, which sucks because I'm off tomorrow, but my weekends I work. So, I forgot what the fuck we were talking about. Like 100%.
I think it's fine because
I
do you ever have moments? Because I mean, since you're a comedian and all that, do you ever have moments where you wonder if people are like, "What the fuck? Is this supposed to be a comedy podcast?"
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's fine. Oh, we were talking about stalkers.
yeah, stalkers.
No, I mean, yeah, technically this is a comedy podcast. It's because the thing that makes this a comedy podcast is we have fun sometimes, and it's a comedians are involved.
Yeah.
Dude, like my other ones with, like I said, Bomb City Talk is with Steven Rosas. He's he's running for city council,
There you go.
and it's the same format as this podcast.
I still don't know how to define my podcast because in some ways, like when I've done solo episodes, I'm a little bit more serious. Whenever I do solo episodes, it feels a little bit like Bill Burr's, where I just feel like I'm talking about something, and then occasionally something funny slips out as I'm going.
So
Or if I go into serious topics, I feel like, oh, maybe don't throw comedy in here. Just talk about the serious topic, or when I'm analyzing something. But whenever I have comedians on, like whenever I've had Matt on or Colin, I'm like, it's fine if we go off the road a little bit from talking about this movie. We can just fucking let loose. And then because I think like half of it's about me being a comedian, and then the other half of it's about me being a film nerd.
right. Well, dude, like this is something that I like podcasting because I don't have to. Dude, there's nobody who's gonna come in here right now and be like, "All right, look, you guys need to take back the last 15 minutes. It hasn't. Yeah, you weren't really hitting it the way I wanted you to." So,
Yeah.
dude, how pissed would you be if we just did 20 minutes and it wasn't recording?
Oh yeah.
It
Especially
is,
since
it
we had like a good like conversation going on.
right. So
shout out to Ghost of Text podcast on here, I guess.
that's the name. That's the name. Ghost of Text podcast.
Yeah, that's the name of my podcast. It's called it's just called Ghost of Text. It's the same name as my Instagram handle. I'm on there whenever it's solo episodes. I'm analyzing movies and doing movie reviews and TV shows.
Solo podcast. That is like a weird. That's what I wanted to say because like you're right.
I'm
like,
used to it now.
doing it. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. I think I'm more likely to say something offensive. I am more likely to slip up, and I am more likely to feel uncomfortable while doing a solo podcast.
It's been the opposite for me with mine. When I've had guests, that's when I've said like my weirdest shit.
Well, see, like I'll be reading something, like I'll maybe go to Yahoo News. That's one thing I'll do when I solo.
Yeah.
Go to Yahoo News and just read headlines and speculate. Like I try not to read the actual article. I just try to speculate about what the headline means. And like a lot of times, like it can get really like one that stuck with me, and I think about this all the time.
Yeah.
And I had to go through and read the article because I was like, what the fuck is happening? This one dude had ordered Domino's every single day for like 10 years or 5 years. It was a long fucking time.
Domino's is good. It ain't that good. Damn.
And so they got worried when they realized he hadn't called in like 2 weeks. So they sent somebody to his house and then like rang the doorbell. There was no answer. They kind of got creeped out, left, came back with like a cop, and the dude had fallen and couldn't get up. Like he had like hurt
I feel
himself.
bad for laughing now.
Well,
Fuck.
no. So like they technically saved him, right?
Yeah.
But then my first fucking thought was that manager wasn't hitting his numbers for 2 weeks, and he was like, "What the fuck happened to Michael? That was a guaranteed $45 a day that we're missing."
Michael is my Christmas
I
bonus.
tell you what,
Get him.
dude. What if he switched to Pizza Hut? Fuck it. Look, take a pizza over there, give it to him for free. We know what he likes. He's been ordering it for 10 years. Take him his favorite meal and then give it to him for free. That way he starts ordering our shit again. I guarantee you that's how they ended up finding that guy. And they spun it into some "we saved him" story. But there's no way they went to go check on him.
That's true. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Anything's possible. But I honestly think that'd be a good joke for you. I really think that'd be a good joke for you. I started working on a new joke today.
A new joke?
Yeah.
What I just told you?
Yeah, that would be a good joke.
Would it?
Yeah.
I was.
I gave me a laugh, and I think the subject's wacky enough.
Okay,
But,
give me 1 sec. I got you a shirt. And we're back. Sorry, I had to do it.
Solid.
Yeah, it's starting to rain too.
Oh, really?
Got you one of those vote for Steven Rosas for City Council Place 4 T-shirts.
He's got my vote.
Yeah, dude. He's a really cool dude. Actually, funny that we bring it up now. There's a page on Facebook called Amarillo Matters, and they're currently attacking him and Hayden.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hayden's that other young dude that's running, right?
Like
I've met him. He seems
they're-
all right.
Like they're doing so well that the people who have been like what they're trying to do is they're trying to pretty much
Smear.
replace everybody who's been on city council who keeps fucking up everything for everybody.
Oh,
The reason the roads are the way they are, the reason like how the rich side of town has like brand new roads, but the north side hasn't been paved in years.
Yeah.
Like because they all live, they like where they live is very nice and it's very well taken care of, but the rest of the city's like go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So they're trying to replace the people who are voting, like who are sitting on council. So they're running, and they're doing so well that the people who are currently sitting on city council are having to run smear campaigns to try to like keep them from winning, and it's not working.
Well, it's not. I think people are wise to that act now. Not just like locally, but I think in a lot of ways when smear campaigns happen, people
I
are
think
like,
it's going to
okay.
backfire.
Yeah, yeah.
I think them doing this
It's a sign of
is going
fear.
to cause the youth to go vote for the people. They're basically doing what CNN did to Trump, and Trump won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why would you take that tactic?
Yeah.
We now know that's how you make someone
Yeah.
get the youth's
plus,
vote.
Plus, a lot of the times it's insulting to your voters' intelligence when you run a smear campaign because it tells you that you think the voters are like, oh, is this really it? Did that guy one time say "Eat America"? Well, I guess I can't vote for him.
Let me see if I can find it. I'll just go to Steven's page
just-
because I
that's
know he shared it. But it's weird to be involved in politics because I'm not a fucking I don't. It's not.
That's the same thing for me whenever political discussions go down. I'm like, don't fucking look at me. I don't know shit.
I don't remember what Hayden's said, but he went through and edited his and put it back up. Okay, so this is what they wrote about Steven. Not recommended. Not recommended. Steven Rosas. Steven Rosas is a 33-year-old local husband, father, and activist. Amarillo now has one of the lowest tax rates for a city of our size in Texas. We now prioritize road repairs, and we are shifting the focus back to delivering high-quality basic service. Steven Rosas has opposed virtually everything the city council has done and strangely criticized local police for ticketing drivers who failed to stop for a school bus. He previously applied for a vacated seat on city council in a previous council in 2015, but was not chosen. It's hard to see what Mr. Rosas has in mind. We do not recommend Steven Rosas.
What is it, a fucking Yelp review?
Yeah, and they did the same thing about They pretty much wrote the same thing for Hayden, but if you look, he went through and just whited out the words, so it made so it just says recommended. It says 24-year-old local musician Pedigo campaign has been called inspired. His first campaign video was him throwing a metal folding chair around a park, measuring various outdoor areas with a tape measure. Clear message. Yeah, just like I love how he did this, because it makes no sense. Pedigo encourages others to do an outsiders video, scare people that don't think. He says his campaign is serious. Evidence indicates we recommend Mr. Pedigo.
I love that, man. That's actually really funny.
Yeah, these like
I think that's actually a really good like clap back. I think it's a good counter to it.
all he did was white it out.
Yeah, white it out.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good way of saying fuck you without saying fuck you.
Yeah,
It's a good way of like pointing out how ridiculous your smear campaign is without going too over the top.
Hayden's getting so much support. Like Adult Swim played his videos in the middle. Like they've done that. He got an interview in Rolling Stone. All of this for the Amarillo. I think he went to South by.
Good for him,
So,
man. Good
like,
for him. He's
I
got
have-
my vote.
And the beautiful thing is, I think he's running for place 1, where Steven's running for place 4. So they both have the ability to win.
That's great. Good
Yeah.
for them.
So I'm excited.
All the
man.
power to them, man. That's awesome. Good for them for trying to go out and, affect politics. That's good.
I would never be a politician.
I would never, just because A, I'm not smart enough, and B,
It takes up so
You-
much time.
It takes up so much time, but if you want to play like the big league games, like you want to be in Congress and shit, you got to be ready to either fight people who are going to step on you or be ready to step on people. And then I don't know if that's like a lifestyle I want to be a part of. Like I've
I don't
seen House
know,
of
man.
Cards. I don't want to have to choke dogs in the street.
What?
You ever see House of Cards?
No, I
The
tried.
first fucking scene
Dude.
of House of Cards is like a dog getting hit by a car in the street, and then Kevin Spacey's family like steps outside to see what's going on, and then Kevin Spacey goes down and is like, "Oh, somebody call for help," and everybody's running away, and then this is like the first time he breaks the fourth wall and he stares at the camera and he's like, "There's only two people in this world." Two people that are willing to watch and people that are willing to act. And then he just like reaches down and starts strangling the dog. And he's like, that's when people like me have to step in when other people won't. And it's a whole speech about how he's a good politician for some reason, but he's still strangling a fucking dog.
Well, what I understand what he's doing. He's not letting it suffer.
Yeah.
I get that. Wow, though.
But that's
You know
what,
I'm
but
saying?
that's what I'm saying is like I understand like putting a dog down to get it like out of its suffering when it's been hit by a car, because getting hit by a car is a tremendous pain for an animal. But I was just like, that's such a weird way to start your show.
Dude, car wrecks are terrifying to me.
Like watching them or like experiencing them.
I'm
Probably both.
scared of getting into one. Like I've been in a car wreck. I've been in several car wrecks, but like I've only been in one while I was driving, and it's terrifying. But yeah, like I think like on Facebook I saw a video of like just a compilation of car wrecks.
I've had like numerous dreams where I've been in car wrecks, but I've had numerous dreams where I've been in a bunch of scary stuff that I've never experienced, like car wrecks or like
Do you ever have like a dream and then you realize it's like then you have deja vu?
yes.
Like I'll try to change if I can remember the outcome. Like if I remember like the reason the deja vu was hitting me is because I remember it was a bad situation. I try to change it. And like it happened, my girlfriend and I were arguing over something stupid and meaning. Like it was so dumb.
Yeah.
But like she said something and then I said something and then like it, deja vu hit and I literally looked at her. I was like, I don't want to have this. Let's not argue. And she kind of looked at me. I was like, this is deja vu and it does not end well. Like I think we break up. Like I don't. Like it turns into a real fight. And like we just stopped and I went to play video games and like, everything was fine. But like I remember it. Like my feeling was like I remember how big the fight became.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird. It makes you wonder, like, there's no way to prove it, but it's just like whenever your brain wants to wonder when you think of like stuff, you know, when it comes to like multiverse theories or like when people talk about time travel, is just, I also kind of wonder if like or like the Mandela effect.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things to look up.
I don't really think I know enough.
It's burnt out now. Like
Yeah.
you can't find good videos of it anymore. Everyone thinks everything's a Mandela effect.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of it's just ridiculous. It's just you remembered it wrong, and it's a common sociological thing that happens. But I always like, part of me is just wondering, like, it's just fascinating to think if it is real, that for some reason there's like a shift in the space-time continuum.
There's only one thing that makes me think it's real.
Okay.
Despite, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so I can't tell you. I thought it was Luke, I am your father, but I could easily be wrong. I can't read very well, so everything that's spelling is usually out of I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Right? The one thing is Jiffy peanut butter.
Yeah.
It never existed. Jiffy.
Jiffy.
There's Jif.
Yeah.
The only
And there's
reason
Skippy.
The only reason I remember this is because one day I went to go make a peanut butter sandwich when I got home from school, and I was like, why did they change the label? Like, I remember thinking that, and it stuck with me so much that when my mom got home, I asked her, why did they change it from Jiffy to Jif? And her response was, Skylar, I just got home from work. And she like ghosted me, and like that, I never really thought about it again. And then my cousin fucked a jar of peanut butter, and it was Jiffy. And I remember that very clearly because we wrote a song.
Yeah.
It was to the song Snap Your Fingers, Do This Dance, but we were slap some Jiffy on yourself. And there was one line out of the whole song I remember, which was, what's happening, what's up, I got Jiffy in my cup. What's happening, what's up, I got Cooper tied up. That was his dog, right? And because we had wrote this song, my friend wrote handwritten lyrics and then burnt the instrumental onto a CD and we handed them out to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, we roasted this dude, right? So I feel bad about that, but it stuck with me so much. So Jiffy, just knowing that I remember Jiffy, that's the only thing that makes me think it might be real. That's 100%.
like I said, for me, I'm still uncertain. I mean, it's not that I'm uncertain. I'm fairly certain
If
that
it was
it
just
isn't
my
real.
cousin, I wouldn't believe it. But
Yeah.
since I asked my mom, like, and I will never forget that because it was just one of those. I really wanted to know if she knew.
The only time the
Why?
effect like ever happened to me, the other ones like I was like, no, I knew this shit. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just telling you how it is.
Yeah.
Like I knew the thing like Mandela didn't die in prison. I knew that one.
Yeah.
But the one that like did
Magic
stick.
Mirror. That one's weird to me.
The Magic Mirror. The
'Cause-
Magic Mirror one was kind of weird, but it made sense to me. Where I was like, okay, I'm probably remembering it wrong.
But there's like a new show coming out called Mirror Mirror.
Yeah, but it was that one with Sinbad playing a genie.
Okay,
That one hit me.
That one hit me too.
Because
and then they put a video out where they like on April Fools like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
They edited a video, and it literally looks like the one that you remember, except for they incorporated like every Mandela effect they could into this one video.
Dang.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do. I don't think I watched it, but that was out of all the stuff that happened, all those events, that was the only one where somebody was like, oh, when somebody was trying to explain to me what a Mandela effect was, they're like, all right, do you remember that genie movie that Sinbad was in the 90s? And I was like, yeah, I remember that. And then like, that movie never happened, dude. And I was like, oh, okay. That was the only one that was the one that made me curious about it, but all the other ones, I felt pretty good about, or I was just willing to easily just go, okay, that was just a mistake
See,
on my remembering.
This is the video they put out, and like clearly he's way older. He's like they filmed this to put it out to fuck with the public. Like, this was
Yeah.
a prank, but like it's essentially it's a lot like the movie you remember.
September 6th.
Fuck this guy. Why just play the video, you dick?
It sounds like a guy like discovering UFOs exist.
I think this is from the 80s.
This guy's voice actually makes it really funny. I love
I
it.
remember this show. This is Shazam.
But is it the kind of one that you remember, right?
I mean, maybe.
Dude, is it raining that bad?
Is that what I'm hearing? It's the rain. Yeah, I do remember though. People were getting fucked with because that right there, where there's like photos of him wearing like a turban.
Well, see, this is actually the video that I was just showing you. That's what he looked like in that video, but he's way older. But yeah, I feel like I remember that one very well too.
Yeah.
Sinbad. And it wasn't Kazam, because Kazam had Shaq. I remember
Kazam
thinking
was Shaq.
Shazam
honestly
was better than Kazam.
When I'm trying to put the logic together for all of that, that really, Shazam is like not Shazam. Kazam is really making.
Fuck, I
sense
gotta
to me.
put a towel by my front window because it's broken.
Okay, cool.
And we're back
There you
talking
go.
about Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam.
Shazam.
Dude,
Dude,
I'm gonna review that on my next solo episode.
the
Shazam.
new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. It was better than Captain Marvel, if you ask me.
It's so loud.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
I can't tell if it's hailing.
I don't know. Some people find this relaxing though. Consider this like the ASMR section of the podcast. Just,
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the weekly relapse.
There's a good chance they can't hear it.
Well, I mean, if we can hear it, can't they?
Maybe.
Tweet in live, audience. Tell us what you hear.
If we were on
Do you-
YouTube, we could.
If you
I
hear
could
the
ask
rain,
George. George usually tunes into the live streams.
if you hear the rain, simply message us your birth date, your mother's maiden name, and your credit card number.
Dude, have you
Yeah.
ever had like your identity stolen?
No, I stole a dude's identity once.
Jesus, you go to jail?
No, I'm just fucking with you. I like doing that sometimes when somebody's like bringing up a topic and I'm like, yeah, I did this once. I'm like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I fucking went crazy, man.
I like to do that one thing where I'm like, you ever do this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, yeah, man, I mean, neither. You know what I mean? Like, I love that's like one of my favorite things.
You ever jam like a bunch of raw cocaine just straight up your butthole? And they're
you-
like, no. And
You
I'm
ever-
like, yeah, me neither.
Like,
no.
you tried crack, right? And they're like, no. Like, yeah, me neither. just
But,
figure out.
I always like doing this thing
I was
when
trying
people...
to find something we had in common, and we found it. Neither one of us have ever done that.
That would be a good joke, man. That'd be good. I like that. It's a good way to gauge your friends socially.
Let's talk about, since we're talking about jokes, fucking Goldenlight, dog. That
That was
so
an amazing show.
so good.
Such a fun show. Everybody killed. Everybody killed.
Oh, I had so much fun on stage.
Yeah, me too. It
I was-
makes me even more excited for our Off the Hook show.
I was throwing up like ad libs and like for
I
some reason.
did. I had like a joke rewrite about 20 minutes before I got on stage, and that was like the most terrifying part of my joke, because I don't know if you heard it. It was me joking off. It was a joke about dudes beating off into socks and getting athlete's foot on their dick.
I may have.
And I added that in, and I was like, nobody's going to laugh.
So I was probably, like, pacing.
Yeah.
When I did that little ad-lib where I'm, like, talking about teachers, and I was like, you ever met a teacher? Like, my sister's a teacher. She's a bitch. Like, that it hit so hard. And then I feel like my roast on Saul, because he was like, he looks like the girl from The Ring. I was like, I'd rather look like the girl from The Ring than a dude on a no-fly list.
That was good. That sometimes happens, though, whenever I've made jokes that are intended to be used in the long run. I've had stuff where I improv something, or I just riff off of something in my own joke, and then all of a sudden that gets a big laugh, and I'm like, all right, that's part of the joke now.
Yeah.
And then my joke just constantly expands. Like whenever I've done the, I'm sure you've heard of the "Did you fuck my wife?"
Yeah.
joke, where like when I want people to go away, I'm like, "Did you fuck my wife?"
And you can.
And then-
that's a good one that you can loop into.
I use that to loop in a lot of stuff. I have a new joke that I'm saving as a loop-in joke, and that's, dude, the way I fucking write my jokes is so weird. I categorize them in so many different ways, and it's like this weird twisty.
You'll
turn
find
way.
a bunch of you'll dude, it's weird. Like there's so many different ways to write. Like I used to write like in like lists, and then like I developed into like bits, and then now I write single ideas. Like each joke takes its own way.
I have
to
subjects
to get it done.
I have like lists of subjects that I let my brain think about as I go on, because I know the joke's not quite there.
Yeah.
And then I have ideas for like where I know the joke, I'm ready for it, and all that. And like I did this new one last week when we were at 806, and it was a tester one, and I'm like, it worked really well, so I'm glad I get to use it as a loop around joke. But it was this joke about how like my buddies and I like insult each other all the time, and that's our only way of communicating, where we're just like, yeah, fuck you. How about fuck you? And I was like, yeah, but it makes it hard for me to be like a supportive friend. And I was like, so these days when I want to figure out what's going on with my friends, I just phrase all of my insults as questions to see if they're all right. So I'll be like, yeah, how about you fuck off, Bobby, walking around here with your limp dick? Or I'm like, you know what, get out of here, Gary, skinny piece of shit, going around here with your eating disorder? And it worked so well. I'm glad it does work well, because that's something I'd love to use as like a workaround joke, or like a good like ending punchline, because I love recycling punchlines organically.
See, I'm at a place where I want to, like, it's not fix people, but I want there to be less dumb people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them. And I'm
Yeah.
not trying to be rude, but there's a lot of fucking dumb people.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when we had that tornado not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
like, people were ordering pizzas, so I had to take them. You know what I mean?
Shit, are you serious?
Yeah, so, like, I would show up, and it's, like, crazy thunderstorm going on, and they're like, they have you out in this? It's like,
you fucking ordered it.
Exactly. You did this. Don't put this on my boss like he's a dick.
Yeah.
You called. There was people calling, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you over the tornado sirens. Give me a second. Like, it's, like, how fucking... And then, like, I took a salad to
People would honestly order a pizza in the apocalypse.
Dude, I took a salad to the Hampton Inn, and, like, we have these coupons that we give them, like $2 off coupons. And it was $10. She gave me $10 and $2. It was $10.61. Mm-hmm. She gave me $10 and $2 coupons, and then gave me 61 cents. Didn't tip me anything. She paid 61 cents for this salad. And I'm trying to figure out how my work is cool with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, we just gave her free food, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there should be a limit, 2 per customer, like 2 per order, something like that. But, like, in my head, it didn't make sense. But, like, where I was actually mad was that she thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that it's that we let it happen. That's not what. It was more that she was cool doing that.
Yeah.
She had no problem, and that upset me. You know what I mean? She had no problem getting free food and not tipping and paying 61 cents for a meal if someone drove it 5 miles to her. You know what I mean? This is out by the Big Texan.
I get frustrated with customers at my job all the time. It fucking annoys the shit out of me. Mainly it's old people now, though. Old people's what I deal with at my job all the fucking time.
I feel like everybody should have to work a shitty job like once a year.
Yeah.
Like if you have a really good job and you make a lot of money, or you don't have a job and you have a lot of money, or you've saved and you don't have to work. I think
it should have to do like with what you're working in.
Legal for you to fucking have to go wait tables or go work in a kitchen, bus tables, work at McDonald's.
Kind of like a social
it.
tax.
You should have to do that, because then you do that for a week. It should not like a day, because a day No, that's nothing. You can handle that for a day. Do it for a week or
Like
a
jury
month
duty.
where you have a schedule. You have to be there. You can't call in. Shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
and you really have to go, like, you have to do 5 days in a row where not all 5 days are going to be great. And then
Yeah.
you're going to realize what the fuck those guys go through.
Yeah.
And it's going to cause you to be nicer to them whenever you're there as a customer.
Yeah. And then if you start it like as more of a societal thing, that's like something you could teach in classes. Like you learn it from school, like how to do that shitty job. That way when you're an adult and they call you in for it, then you're already prepared. You've done the training.
Right. Or
This is starting to sound like a sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
This is starting to sound like an episode of The Twilight Zone. Have you started watching the new Twilight Zone?
no, I haven't.
The first episode it has Kumail Nanjiani in it, and it's about a stand-up comedian. And it felt, when I watched it, I was so worried because they've redone the Twilight Zone a billion fucking times, and they've fucked it up so many times that I was like, okay, they've got to screw it up again. They've got to screw it up again. And then I watched this episode, and I was like, it felt like the show didn't stop. It felt like it just felt like I had finished binging the original one on Netflix, and then I just turned on the next episode. It felt like the Twilight Zone.
That's cool.
And especially since Jordan Peele is a great host. I mean, you could see elements of it where he's definitely trying to be a little bit like Rod Serling, with like the suit and walking in very, very fancy-like and stiff body, but his voice is very good for intro.
See, I've been watching King of the Hill,
King of the Hill's good shit, man.
Community,
Mm-hmm.
and I recently watched Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, and Tokyo Drift, just because they were on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I was having to convince myself to stop playing Forza. You know what I'm saying? So I threw on a movie that was kind of related.
I
to
never
it.
want to disrespect anybody's liking of something, because there's a lot of people that love Fast and Furious, but it's just like my personal opinion of Fast and Furious is I think it sucks.
I'm
but-
not a big fan. I'll be honest. That's why I was making fun of
Like
it
I
on
said,
stage.
for people who like it, like by all means go ahead and like it. Don't be offended by the fact that I don't.
I
That
like
I think
the first
it sucks.
one, but it's because I remember. Dude,
I think the
remember when
only
it
one
came
that's
out.
watchable is the first one.
I remember when it came out, and I got it for Christmas. It was like Christmas Eve. We all opened up presents, and like somebody had got me Fast and the Furious, and so me and all my cousins went into my room and watched it. And it had just come out, so like it looked awesome. Like
Plus, for the time, it's a different aesthetic.
dude, the moment that they're attacking that semi, and the girl gets up next to the semi and then goes underneath it in that Honda.
Yeah.
I remember my entire room. There was like 7, 8 of us watching this movie. We erupted, dude. Like we were like high-fiving. We were like, that was the coolest fucking
Yeah.
thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I didn't know. And then it made it to where like when you were a kid, dude, you would drive by semis and be like, you couldn't drive underneath that. I remember thinking that a lot. Like there's bars and shit. You know what I mean? But
I had that effect after the first time I saw Death Proof, and I saw that chick that's like riding on the top of the car with the belts on the other end, so it looks like the mast of a pirate ship, but it's on a car.
I guess I haven't seen it.
You never seen Death Proof with Kurt Russell?
I don't watch a lot of. I kind of stick to comedy whenever
fine.
I'm watching stuff.
This was a movie with Kurt Russell in like 2009. It was the part of the Grindhouse double feature with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. But there's this scene in the movie where this lady rides on the front part of a car, and I think it's like a 1978 Dodge Challenger. And she's on top of it, and she puts belts on the opposite sides of the doors to hang on to the front. So as she's hanging there, she looks like the front part of a pirate ship.
Good.
And then this whole car chase goes on where they end up getting chased by a psychopath as this is going on, and the cars are slamming into it, and she's sliding across the hood trying to hang on. And this shit was shot for real. Like, there was no CGI. This girl's really hanging on the car, and they're going at high speed, and all this stuff's ramming. And I remember just watching that going like, I think I might want to try that once.
Right. That's
Just
why I like
sitting on
watching
top of a
old
car.
Bond movies is because knowing that like there's no CGI.
There's no CGI.
Like
One of
that
the best
dude-
car movies is Breaking Point. I think that's what it is.
Can you explain this to me?
Yeah.
There's that new show, You versus Wild. Have you seen that on Netflix?
Yeah, I saw the ads for it. I ain't watching that
Dude,
shit.
it looks so stupid.
Yeah.
Are you telling me this dude climbed this mountain and was like, should I scale down or jump, and then he filmed him doing both.
What I thought was funny with it, where he was like going, all right, what should I do next, as he was going right to do the next thing. I'm like, you do realize Dora the Explorer already did this shit.
Yeah, well, like, I don't understand.
What should we do next?
Like, who's sitting around going, I wish I could play my movies. I wish
Yeah.
I could be involved in this process.
I think that's happened since video games, like since the Telltale
Fucking
series.
play a video game, dude. There's no reason for me to control a movie.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason for me
Yeah.
to control the outcome of it. I'm taking away a lot of your creative process while you do that.
Plus, a lot of it's like, if you end up, because a lot of the times they're like, yeah, that's completely possible that you end up with a shitty ending. I'm like, then why do I want to do that? If
Yeah.
if I'm going to end up with a shitty ending of a movie, then why the fuck would I do that? One of the funniest things I've heard about endings for movies was I was watching that Netflix show that Norm Macdonald has, where he talks to people, and he was talking to Michael Keaton about the ending of Birdman.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, so nothing happens at the end, and then he takes off, and he's like, but he really can't fly, so I don't want to get it. And then Michael Keaton goes like, well, it's up for interpretation. That's the point of the ending. You're supposed to analyze it. And he goes, I'm supposed to write the end of this fucking movie that I
Yeah.
just saw? And to an extent, I agree with that. I think it depends on the movie, because some movies leave the ending open, but it's not that they're leaving you to decide the ending. The ending's there if you're able to pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
But I do agree. There's plenty of movies I've seen where they're like, well, the ending's up for interpretation. It's like, no, you just couldn't write a fucking ending.
It's
and you're
like
a
Bill
lazy,
Burr,
yeah.
whenever he's like, I'm not making my I go to a sandwich shop. They're like, I'm like, I want this like on rye with fucking mayo. They're like, mayo's over there. He's like, well, go over there and get it and put it on my sandwich. Do you recognize me? It's because I don't fucking work here. All right, I'm not gonna like hop back there and make my sandwich for you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, make my sandwich and get it to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm paying you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I feel that. I
I
that.
was
Like,
talking-
I don't want to. Like, I shouldn't have to go do half the job it takes to make a meal if I'm paying $10, $12 for this meal. You should make the meal. That's why I came here. I didn't want.
Yeah.
I could have gone to the grocery store and bought the shit and made it at my house. I
Yeah.
didn't.
That's-
I came to your deli because I wanted a chicken sandwich. Now make my fucking chicken sandwich.
That's what's funny. I was having this conversation with my girlfriend a few days back, and we were talking about like musicians whenever they bring fans on stage or whenever they like reach the microphone out to the crowd, and she was trying to make a good case for like why it's part of the experience. And I was like, but here's the thing though, if I'm at a concert, I paid fucking money to watch this person sing their music and do the music live.
And
I don't want to see some fan come up on stage. I'm sure it's fun for them. It's not fun for me. If I wanted to see some random dickhead singing a song, I could step outside and watch one of the homeless people fucking flip out over a new album.
I could see that, but I've seen so many cool videos of like, there's like the Hobson will let people come up on stage and rap a song for him.
Yeah.
Like, but he's like, if you fuck it up, you fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not helping you. Like,
Yeah.
you said you can do it. You got to do it. And
That's
like,
funny.
And it's really cool. Like, because they usually pull it off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, usually he's impressed.
Yeah.
And then it's also got to be cool for the performer in that area to go, this person is, especially Hobson, because it's rap. It's not
Yeah.
like it has like a hook and it's just
Yeah.
a couple words, a song that you can sing. Like, there's a lot of words, there's a lot of
Yeah.
syllables. So it's got to be cool for him to sit back and go, dude, this person listened to my shit so much
That he knows it by heart.
memorized every word, pause, where to take a breath, like every syllable,
Yeah.
how fast this part is, or how slow. Like, he memorized every piece
You know,
of it.
that's a good point. You know, and like I said, my girlfriend was making points
I
like
think
that
it's
where she was like,
different
"It's about the
if it's
experience
like, if
of
it's
it."
like a Zeppelin song
Yeah.
or something. Like, I don't think if you're a Zeppelin cover band or I mean, it's
Yeah.
the song that we listened to earlier, like the Oxycontin song.
Yeah.
I want to see that band perform that
Yeah.
song. I think it's cool, but I'm a hip hop fan, so
Okay.
I think it's cool to see
That's fair.
fans do. I'm a fan
I could
of
see it from
memorizing
that.
hip hop.
I could see it from that angle then, but I had made a joke about that at the 806 once because I was going on after musicians, and when the musicians that were performing their last song, they were like, "All right, we want everybody to just do this little stomp, clap, stomp, clap," and then when I went up, I was just like, "Fuck you, get a drummer."
Yeah,
Like, I'm not doing that for you,
dude. You can't trust the crowd. They'll do it for like the first 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And they're really into it for the first 10 seconds. But you want them to do it for 40 seconds? You want them
Yeah.
to do it for a minute?
Yeah.
Dude, first off, it's
Not to
gonna
mention
it's
the
gonna get
small-
off beat. It's gonna get
Yeah.
like not everyone has rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then so it's like stop, clap, stomp, stomp, clap. Then you hear stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap, clap, stomp, clap, clap, stomp, 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 clap. Because nobody's on rhythm.
Yeah.
And then,
That's why, like, one of the best versions of that, like, really can't be topped is "We Will Rock You," because it's just a simple 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. There's no do.
But
do,
there's still
do.
going to be somebody who's like,
Yeah. Well, plus the thing with that song with Queen is that they're keeping that be going themselves throughout the whole song. So it's like they're not necessarily relying on the audience. They're still providing that noise themselves
That and
if the audience doesn't want to.
they're Queen
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
By the time they had made that song, yeah, they were Queen. So they were like, anything they say, sure, whatever.
Yeah, we'll do it.
we
Dude,
want
if
you
I-
guys, we want
if
you
I
guys
could-
to finger your assholes to this song so we can keep the beat. They'd be like, okay.
I think if I had the choice to go see any comic or musician live, and I would choose Queen still. I would love to think I would say Carlin or Pryor,
Yeah.
or Robin Williams, or I mean,
I think for
I think in the
me-
maybe in the moment I might say that, but if it's a thought out process and I want it, like I would love to see Queen live.
I think if it's a comedian that I want to see live, like in the prime of their days, you know, if I was around
Carlin.
back then, it'd be Robin Williams for me.
Yeah, I think
Or Jerry Seinfeld.
Carlin or Hicks.
It'd be Seinfeld or Robin Williams for me. And then if it's a band that I get to see in their prime, because like excluding bands that are still alive or still going
100%
today,
Queen.
it'd be either Queen or AC/DC. Because AC/DC is one of my favorite bands. It's not my number one. My number one's CCR, but I don't know how fun a CCR concert would be.
I can tell you how fun. A Queen concert.
Oh, I imagine a Queen concert would be a blast.
And there's got to be like nothing else like that. Like that, they're such a good band. I think
wish
the
I
older
could,
you
okay.
get, the more you respect the band too.
Yeah. That happens a lot with some bands, though. Like, some bands have aged like wine, where it's like in the moment they were like a good band, like they
Dude.
were in the top 40, but now they're like legendary.
If you hear Freddie Mercury's voice, you get into a good mood.
Yeah.
It's like impossible not to.
And the thing was, like, I've seen like stuff where people take clips of like his singing, and then they've edited out like the music that's been behind his singing, and they just let his singing go.
They did that with Marvin Gaye, and that
Yeah.
one's really good too.
And then hearing it, I was like, oh my god, his voice is so damn good. But that's the same thing I thought with John Fogerty from CCR. Whenever I hear his voice, like outside of the music, then it's like, it just feels so enthralling.
Dude,
Which is so funny. You're pulling up I Heard It Through the Grapevine. That was a CCR song. That was a 16-minute song, I think, that they did, or 11 minutes. I can't remember.
this is Marvin Gaye, but it has the all the music's cut out, so it actually doesn't kick up until like 20 seconds.
I bet you're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise, I must say,
Killing it.
when I found out yesterday. Don't you know that I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine. Oh, I heard it
Dude,
through the
dude,
grapevine.
it's
This
so
is amazing.
It is so good.
I am so jealous of people that can sing really well or
My
dance
my
really
girlfriend
well.
can sing really well. and
Really?
yeah, and she loves musicals, and
I'm
I
iffy
just
about musicals, but
yeah, I'm not like, dude, trust me. She's like, what's your favorite musical? I'm like, Tenacious D, Pick a Destiny, first off. But if one that you enjoy, I do like the music, man. I will say that. But I watched it a lot in school.
yeah.
So it's like, it's just familiar.
For
more than
me,
anything.
I don't know if this counts. I don't know if it counts, but if it does, this is it. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And like to this day, like I could almost just get relaxed by the scene where they first walk into the candy room, where it's
Yeah.
like all the ecosystem of candy, and then it's Gene Wilder doing the "Come with me."
It has to
and
be a
you'll
musical, right?
That's what I think, because there's like music all the fucking time in the movie, so it's got to be a musical. But either way, for argument's sake, it counts as a musical. That has to be my favorite one, just because of I love how diverse the music is, but it also just it's such a weird and interesting story. But I don't know, for musicals, my common problem with them is I find them a lot to be like pace killers, especially ones where they're trying to depict like events or stories that are going on while the music's playing or while the song's playing, but the song has nothing to do with the music.
Yeah.
Like I was watching Beyond the Sea, which was about Bobby Darin and his life, and it was directed and starred Kevin Spacey playing Bobby Darin.
I can't watch that anymore.
Yeah. But if you watch it, there's this part where he's talking about meeting what was eventually his wife.
Yeah.
And it's trying to talk about how he courted her and you know how he got her interest. But the problem is that throughout that part, he's singing Beyond the Sea. He's doing the somewhere beyond the sea. And he's doing that part, but as he's singing it and he's doing like the 50s like step dancing with all the people, everybody's in a circle, they're doing the jazz is playing and they're all doing all this stuff. There's just this weird montage in the background of him stalking her. And him stalking her. That's like legit. You can pull it up if you want. It's legit him stalking her as he's doing all this. And then the music video ends. I mean, not music video, but the song ends in the movie. And all of a sudden they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And I'm like, wait, hold the fucking phone here. What just happened? He was stalking her.
That's funny.
And I was like, you just distract. It felt like a magic trick. I'm like, you guys just distracted me with an amazing song and great choreography. But now I don't know what's going on in this story right now.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate movies where like the music's incorporated into the dialogue, like Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp.
Okay.
I really like that where they're like describing like how they're talking back and forth, but it's the singing and the song is somehow still catchy as they're going along, and I think that's really cool. But I think it's really hard to nail it in the head just right for a musical, just like it is for a comedy. It's really hard to nail it in the head for a comedy and get a solid comedic movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do. Dude, I used the word espionage correctly yesterday. Pretty pumped about that.
There you go.
I wasn't sure if
What
I
was the
was-
context?
We were playing a video game. We were playing Sea of Thieves, and I was like, I do espionage all the time on this game. And they were like, what do you mean? And I was like, I commit espionage on this game. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't know if I'm using it right. And they're like, well, explain what you're trying to say. And I was like, well, we'll have 3 people on a ship. I'll go to an island and lay there, and we'll send another guy who swims over to another player's ship and sneaks on, and he lays down, and I'm laying down, and then our third ship is kind of hanging out in a general area around both of us, and we're collecting information so we know when we can attack and when. So meaning that is technically espionage.
Yeah,
Like,
that is espionage.
and so, but like that's what we would do. So like I will go to a like where I know there's going to be people either there or about to show up, and our boat will sail by, and I'll jump off and I'll swim over there, and then our boat keeps going, and then another guy leaves and goes to that boat, and we just hang out and listen to them talk until we know like okay, they either finish their mission and they have a lot of treasure on board, or like if the fort, for example, the moment this certain song kicks in, that means the captain's out, and that means you're about to get $25,000 worth of loot. So the moment the captain music kicks in, I'm like, you need to come here now. I jump out of my tower with an explosive barrel, go hit their ship, and then stay in the bottom of their ship so they have trouble patching. And I kill them as they come down, so we sink their ship, and then we kill them and take everything. Espionage.
This sounds like you're describing like a SEALs fucking operation.
It's exactly what it is.
You
Dude,
sound
it's-
like you're SEAL Team 6 of
dude,
video games.
It's so much fun. Like you'll never get an adrenaline rush like that.
I haven't felt.
I think
that
the only way that you'll feel what I feel when I do that, like as far as adrenaline goes, is like jumping out of an airplane,
maybe
because it is very, very heavy.
I'm trying to remember like the last time I felt that way in a video game where I felt like espionage and like everything was coordinated.
Well,
it was probably Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege is where
Well,
I
see,
felt
yeah,
it.
but that's in the constructs of the game.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing is not. Like we're playing the game in a way that the developers did not mean for you to play the game.
Yeah.
And we have one shot. Like so, whenever I jump out of that tower and I go to attack that ship, if I die and my ship isn't close, they win because they're going to be able to patch their ship, and now they know we're coming.
Yeah.
But if I can wait long enough for my ship to be close enough, and then I bomb them, now they're focused on fixing the holes on me, and I'm downstairs while my ship rolls up next to them and starts hitting them with cannons.
There you go.
So we're attacking from 2 different sides, and like it's just we have one shot to make it work. And if we lose that one opportunity, then we lose the entire thing. Whereas like if we weren't there, these guys have unlimited opportunities to die and respawn to beat this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they can die 100 times to beat this, but we can only die once to beat them.
Dang, it's really cool hearing you talk about that with a video game. I haven't felt that way about a video game in a long time. It's like, you know, whenever like when you played the best video game of your life and you know
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, when you
100%.
when you know, I mean, like playing Sea of Thieves, when you played it, you know that you're playing the best video game you've ever played in your life. And
I feel that way every time I play that game.
for me, it was The Last of Us. I remember playing The Last of Us, and about halfway through the game, I was like, it's kind of like falling in love. You're just like, yep, this is it. This is the one. This is the best video game I've ever played in my life. I know nothing's going to beat this game because you just can't beat this game. This game like fits my personality perfectly. Everything's going great for me.
Up
And
until I
ever
felt that
since
way about Sea of Thieves, it was Fable before that.
Really?
The first Fable. I loved Fable so much.
And ever since that, and I've played other video games, it's just kind of like, I don't think I feel this. I mean, I do have passion for some video games, but it's like, I don't know if I can beat that. For movies, it's different.
I haven't been
because
interested in video games since I started playing Sea of Thieves. Like,
video games, I'm very particular and I'm picky, but it's just like with movies, I mean, my like top 10 movies list changes all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And I still see movies like to this day that come into my top 10 list. Like fucking last year I saw Blade Runner 2049 and that's in my top like 3 list now.
Yeah.
Because that movie fucking blew me away. And
Seven Psychopaths is like probably my top 3.
Top 3.
I really love that movie.
my number one
In
for
Bruges is
there you
really
go. There you go. My number one for the longest time, and it's still number one. It hasn't been beat yet. Is Inglourious Bastards.
That's a good one.
I love that movie.
I love that movie. My girlfriend didn't like it because of the yellow text.
That's it.
She said she couldn't read it very well. Just her eyes wouldn't adjust to it, so she couldn't read it very fast. So she would miss some stuff, and then she just,
That's what I found that movie to be
that
like.
opening scene to that fucking movie.
Oh my god, the
Is-
ending scene too. The ending, the ending is the best movie ending ever.
Dude, but that's the best opening
Yeah.
to a movie I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Yeah.
That fucking
Him talking with the guy.
the dude, he
and
pulls out his pipe.
Yeah.
It's a huge fucking pipe. It's all
Yeah.
hilarious. But like,
It's like a Sherlock Holmes pipe.
yeah, dude, and it's intense. And
This whole time as they're talking, you can see Christoph Waltz's character like analyzing every single piece of his reactions.
yeah,
It's insane.
dude, it's
It's a scene that could be like dissected by film students to like for all of eternity.
so unbelievable.
And that movie.
So you don't mind if I switch it over to English, yeah? You know what I mean? Like, dude, because he knows that they could be listening.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to tip them off that he's already aware that they're right there.
Yeah.
Like, he probably knew before they sat down.
Yeah. That's what made his character so intimidating. I think that's what's really cool about that movie because it goes into this psychology that I love watching movies, trying to understand like the demand, the psychological demand an audience has for a movie to scratch their itch. And a lot of that I hadn't seen until I like started doing my own research in Grindhouse cinema, but it's like Nazi exploitation is what they call it, and it's this like drive that like people kind of had this weird sort of passionate sort of subliminal hate of Nazis, where
Yeah.
it's just kind of built into them, especially as Americans. But it was just really cool seeing that movie where it's like you can tell the whole time it's fueling that itch. Where they've just got constant stuff. And so you get to the end of the movie where it's just like fucking all those 2 guys unloading machine guns on a room full of Nazis. And then this big evil Nazi character that they built up since the beginning of the movie, like you were talking about in that cottage, gets taken out by one of the most American fucking characters you could ever imagine.
That one dude's like, we got ourselves a Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
That's such a good... Oh my gosh. Why can I not get... This is no one ever hits me up. Give me 1 second. Cool. So, I think I'm going to be booking a show for the Witches Council.
There you
I think is what it's
go.
called. It's like a non-profit thing. I
There
don't
you
know.
go. Witches
figure it-
Council, cult show. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to figure out more about it when we get done with this. Dude, hopefully, so I'm looking to, I'm trying to move.
Yeah.
I'm trying to move fucking right next door. That'd be so tight.
That would be cool. You wouldn't have to, it'd be a very easy move.
Yeah,
Very
it,
clean- very
and like,
clean.
it wouldn't be hard to get someone to help me. Like, it's really hard to be like, you want to help me move? We got to load this into a truck and then unload that truck. But if I was just like, you guys want to come help me move this to my neighbor's house? They'd
Yeah.
be like, fucking sure.
Yeah, why not?
30 minutes of my life? That's fine.
I'm still on the hunt for a roommate at my place.
Dude, it's so hard to find a 2-bedroom house within like a reasonable price range.
Yeah.
And then it's hard to do roommates. Like,
It's hard to find a roommate because like you want to get people you know, but it's just like all the people I know are like, well, I'm not in a position to be in a roommate, and most of the people I know are my age, so and a lot of people my age are still living with their family or they're in a dorm or something, and that's something they're dealing with. But yeah, I have to at some point kind of like test it out with strangers, and it's like I feel so weird trying to meet strangers and going like, hey, do you want to live with me? So
let me go. Okay, I'm so sorry, dude. My dog.
Don't sweat it, man. You're all good.
Dude, I don't. I understand that dogs are like alarms back in the day, and that's why we've survived so far. But you think that like over the course of like, I don't know, civilization and modern like how we live, that maybe through evolution they learn not to bark at every fucking little fucking thing that like walks through the front yard. Like my dogs will bark at people that I'm talking to. It's like, do you really think I don't see him? Do you really fucking think that I'm scared right now? Like, why are you doing, like, I shook his hand, dude. Shut up. Stop. Like, why are you?
I think your dogs are prepared for that, like, crisis scenario that they have in
just
movies
so
where, like,
fucking annoying, dude.
where somebody's like, hey, is everything okay? And you're like, yeah, everything's fine. And you're like, like moving your eyes in the direction of the guy's got a gun pointed at you.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't understand, like, my dogs, dude. I fucking don't understand them. And, like, I really wish I was better with them. Like, I wish I didn't get mad because I know that they can't help it.
Yeah.
But, like, what is my dog doing right now? Why is she barking out of a window and nothing?
Probably a stalker.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Full circle, man.
Totally.
Full circle.
You know what?
got a
I think
stalker.
I'd rather that stalker knock on my door right now than my dogs go ape shit every time they see something.
That's funny, man. I don't know.
So
it's
crazy. Like, it wouldn't be a big deal if it didn't happen like 75,000
Yeah,
times
I
a
agree.
day. But it's like, I can't have my front door open anymore because they'll just go crazy.
I don't know, my mom's dogs are like that, and anytime I'm at her place. But the thing is my mom's one of those like ladies that like treats her dog like it's her or like her other son. So pretty much when I'm yelling at the dog to shut the fuck up at barking, she's pretty much like, you don't talk to him like that. I'm like, it's a fucking dog.
And he needs to shut up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be a dick here.
How
but
would you feel if you were having a phone call and I came up by your ear and he was going, help, bow,
Yeah.
bow, bow? No. Fuck you.
And then you're not allowed to lose your shit on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to be like, stop.
Yeah.
You stop it right now. It's like, dude, I'm going to yell at him.
Yeah, and at one point
Because he doesn't stop unless I'm louder than him. For some reason. I don't know why.
Law of the jungle. But
Yeah,
it's
oh,
like,
you're louder? Fuck. I guess you win this one. I'll go back to
You win this
not
one.
barking at that cat, I guess.
But like, my mom went through a phase where she was like watching The Dog Whisperer every single day. So then when I started like chewing the dog out and going like, fucking quit, just fucking quit barking. There's nobody here. She would just turn into like, that's not how you communicate with a dog. You're not asserting yourself as an alpha. You need to at the dog. And I'm like, how about you the fuck up?
Yeah,
Because
dude.
this is.
Oh, man.
man.
I've had my mom do stuff like that. Like, this is how...
I actually do have a new
come on,
joke.
dude.
I do have a new joke tonight about how my mom treats my fucking dog.
I don't...
She treats it like it's her other fucking son.
I don't have any new material tonight. I'm probably gonna go up as fast as I can and then come home. I gotta clean my house. So there's a show on Friday. I hate that.
I'm behind on a lot of shit too. Like I was supposed to do homework last night when I got home from work, but I fucking passed out on my couch. I was so tired. And then I've only partially recorded the next episode of my podcast, and I'm already coming back from like a semi hiatus, even though I'm trying to do like 2 episodes a month for my show.
Yeah.
And I took like a bit of a break, as it's aired. Mainly it was just that I was busy.
I wish I could do 2 a week. I wish I was, but like once again, I feel like I was flooding. It was always me, Matt, me, and Thomas, me, and you know, me.
Yeah.
And I was like, so those are my friends who are typically available.
Yeah.
You know, especially when I put it on Facebook last second, like, hey, you guys want to record in like, I don't know, 20 minutes? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I think 2, but 2 a month is doable. I think
Yeah.
that, I mean, your format is probably a lot harder.
I was about to say that too, because whenever I do solo episodes or anything, it's like whenever I'm talking about like I had my buddy Jordan come on for my last episode, and we were just talking about the Oscars and all that, and all I had to do was just write a list of movies that I wanted to talk about, and that was it. But whenever I've talked about, I don't know which episodes you've seen or
I think I
Listen
listened.
to.
I know I've listened to 1 or 2. You have 2 out, right?
no, I have like 7 out.
7?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude, you're doing hard work. I need to
But-
listen to. I'm kind of a dick in the fact that like I can't. It's really hard for me to hold my my attention with just audio.
That's fine,
You
and
know?
I'm totally with that.
Well, like so, like I don't listen to my podcasts ever.
I only listen to mine like after I record just to make sure I got all the audio correctly. But then after that, I don't listen. But
I don't listen.
like,
I don't listen to any podcast I've been on.
I'm kind of that way. Depends on the podcast I was on. I just want to make sure I didn't say anything cringy.
Yeah.
Just kind of get prepared for my internet apology. But yeah, it does take a lot of time in between my episodes because some of them require a lot of research. And I did an episode. One of my earlier ones was I did this whole deep dive into Grindhouse cinema and how it was worked and what Grindhouse is, describing it. And then for that, I had to watch about 9 Grindhouse movies between that took, and that were from the 60s all the way to now. And I was like making a composite list so I could, for my audience to be like, okay, if you guys want to watch Grindhouse movies, this is what they were like in this era. This is what they're like in this era. And if you want to see what modern Grindhouse looks like, this is what you watch. And so I had to watch so many movies and take like an infinite, like pages upon pages of
Be
notes.
honest with me.
What?
Is modern Grindhouse cinema have a lot more rape in it?
I don't know. I don't think rape. I don't
Because I've noticed that is a huge trend in horror.
Yeah.
And that's why I quit watching. There's a show on FX, American Horror Story.
Yeah.
The first season was phenomenal. I loved it.
Yeah, the first
this
season's great.
This is a great show.
Second
And
season fucked it up.
I love the idea of changing scenario. I was like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And then the second season, I think,
fucked it.
everyone got raped.
Yeah.
Every person got raped like 100 times. It was just rape.
Yeah.
And like I only watched the first like 3 episodes. I refused to watch it.
I think there's an element of that in the exploitation element of cinema these days, but I think the biggest one that's
the last thing I
want to
see is somebody get raped. It doesn't matter what kind of movie I'm watching.
Yeah.
It's that is one thing that makes me I feel so bad.
For me, it's like child murder.
Dude, yeah,
I don't want to see that in any
I don't
movie.
want to see that. I
even
don't want
in
to see
even when I saw It, where like fucking bit that kid's arm off in the beginning, I was like, I understand you want to make your audience scared, but I feel like that might have been crossing the line a little bit. Because now people are really uncomfortable, not scared, uncomfortable. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And it didn't taint the movie at all. Like, it did make me scared of the monster.
But I feel like if it would have been like it's a clown movie, it's not. But like if it had been an opening scene of like a horror movie and it was a rape,
yeah,
I'm walking out of that movie.
a lot of people would.
I'm walking
But
the fuck out of that movie.
To answer your question, I don't think so, especially since back in the vintage days of Grindhouse, like I'd say if you want to go to the 80s era, when there was a lot of BDSM elements of their films, I would say, yeah, that back then it was, especially a lot of it was a lot more of like getting people tied up kind of rape, or it would be like women in cage movies that were going on, or whenever they were doing hardcore Nazi exploitation, they'd have like Nazi women that were tied up and like weird shit was being done to them.
Yeah, see,
But that's the thing with Grindhouse though, is that for like every 10 Grindhouse movies you're going to encounter, or 10 Grindhouse movies you want to watch, only one of them's going to be like a legit entertaining movie. The stuff that's hardcore isn't too hardcore to where it's making you uncomfortable, but it's fun and entertaining, and it's diving into like the more like caveman elements of your brain. In order to get to that one movie, you have to wade through the other 9 movies that are either so bad that it's good because it's completely batshit crazy of a movie that you think like a schizophrenic psychopath might have made, or movies that just cross the line, have no value to them, and they're completely horrible. That's why, like, when I was doing that episode, I had to watch so many fucking movies to, like, wade through and find the good ones and go, like, okay, if you guys want to watch Grindhouse movies, I'll tell you the shortcut.
Yeah.
You watch this one, and if you don't want to watch the earlier ones that are way more hardcore than all the others, here's some modern ones. Like, a modern one that I studied, and
so you think they've dialed back?
That depends on the kind of exploitation
I guess
you
the
want to talk
context,
about.
yeah.
If you want to talk about gore exploitation, it's about the same, because I'll talk about it in another episode, because there's a common debate about when torture porn started in the movie industry, whether it started with Hostel or with Saw 2. But the Saw franchise is a good example of gore exploitation and torture exploitation, where it's just there's no real consistency to it, and they're not focusing on the other stuff, and you can tell like they don't give a fuck about the plot in the Saw movies. They do not give a fuck, and they pick the worst actors for it. So you could tell they know the most entertaining value of that is the gore, is the people caught up in all the traps. So that's what they're going to exploit throughout the whole thing. Just like when they have sexploitation movies back in the day, or sometimes now. It's very rare.
They do that
now.
with comedy movies, too. Like, Anchorman is a great example. Anchorman 1, great movie. Anchorman 2, they milked every joke that landed in Anchorman 1. They did it 17 times a piece in Anchorman 2.
That's how I felt with Super Troopers 2. They milked all the jokes in the first movie.
And I didn't watch it strictly because of how disappointed I was with Anchorman.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to ruin something I love again.
It didn't ruin Super Troopers for me. I was just like, it just felt like, it's kind of like, it felt like a DLC. I felt like you just gave me a DLC to Super Troopers.
See, I feel like I got one good, I can't remember what he said. There was one thing in Anchorman 2 that made me like legitimately laugh really, really hard. Then everything else was like, they redid the fight scene, and that was way over the top.
It was too much.
The moment you take something good and you bring it way over the fucking top, it loses every piece of the comedic value that it had at the beginning.
But that's a way with a lot of different kinds of elements of movies. That's one of the things I love analyzing is like, especially movies that I think take it too far at times, which again I think is the Saw franchise. I think it's having goresploitation in a movie's fine because people are entertained by it, and it's in a way it can be watched without like having to be a psychopath. Just because part of like watching gory shit is like kind of making people scared. Like when you watch The Walking Dead and a dude's ripped apart by the zombies, you're kind of building an intensity scare to it. But when you show something like Saw, where it's so like they keep the camera on it for so long and they pretty much make you sit and watch this shit and stew in it, you've crossed the line and you're not just trying to scare the audience, but you're exploiting something that is a key feature in a movie, but not doing a whole all-around good movie.
Right. Yeah, because there's something about like, see, I don't like horror movies because I work off my brain primarily functions off logic.
Yeah.
So like for instance, when Brett worked at the mall, I would go to the dollar theaters
I used to
like
work
all
there.
the time, and you probably sold me all my tickets. I would just go there by myself and just watch a movie.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, The Haunting maybe. There's a movie about a family that bought a house. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Horror movie about a family who bought a house. And it was cheaper than it should have been. That was crazy. But this kid goes down into the basement, and it can hear something. And she puts her ear up to the grate. And then like a long metal like claw is like sliding, grinding against the fucking grate. And it gets right up against her ear. And her dad calls her, and she turns and then pulls it back in, right?
That's stupid.
In my heart of hearts, I was like, she didn't hear that.
Yeah.
She didn't hear the metal on metal grinding a fucking inch away from her ear.
Yeah.
She didn't hear that, and that little detail made me walk out of the movie.
Yeah. I get that way sometimes, where I'm pretty nitpicky with
I'm like,
movies. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief a lot with movies, but I do have moments like that where I
can't
have to draw a
suspend
line.
I can't suspend my for some reason I can't do it with horror movies.
Yeah.
I can do it with
but-
like sci-fi and stuff. I can,
because it's sci-fi.
but horror movies, like I think I'm not a horror movie guy to
Yeah.
begin with. Like they're not my forte.
Yeah.
So I think whenever I watch them, that like it's like I want them to be scary. I really want I want to be scared from a movie like the way I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's possible.
I think it's possible. I mean, it's possible for me just because I've seen movies that have done that to me. But
Like what? Like no movie's gonna give me like a real world fear the way that it did.
actually, last year I did see a movie in theaters where, like, with my friends, and when we came out, I noticed the hairs on my arm were standing up. And then there were moments where we saw it where me and my friends just went dead silent and with, like, covering our mouths and being like, what the fuck?
See,
And I don't know if it's going to have that same effect on people because it's different, but it was Hereditary.
I see, and like that's another thing. The chances of me watching a good scary movie are slim to none because I watch maybe 2 a year.
I would recommend Hereditary.
Maybe.
It's scary.
I maybe watch 2 every 3 years.
I think for me, I'm really fed up with horror movies that overuse the jump scare effect.
That's another thing. I'm ready for pretty much every jump scare. Like you can't.
Because a lot of jump
I'm never
scares are
gonna
the
see
same.
a mirror in a horror movie and think this is gonna be a scene that doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's another shit tactic.
Yeah.
Like I want that's not scary.
And
what that's doing is it's loud and it startles you.
Yeah.
And it's a scary image. So
Plus, in most
put
cases,
that together, it kind of scares you, but in reality, it just triggered your fucking natural dude, if you're sitting in my house and I turn a corner real fast, I'm like, bah, you're gonna jump. Like
Yeah.
it's just it's biologically what happens. You're trained. Like there's something in you that you don't like. It's like whenever someone walks up and touches you when you're not paying attention and you jump, they're like, oh, gotcha. No,
Yeah.
you touched me when I wasn't looking, and it's a natural reaction.
Yeah.
It would have happened to you. Don't think you're a tough fucking
Yeah.
guy. You fucking that's
Yeah.
that's the lowest.
it's a
like-
basic human instinct.
that's
put
basically
into
like
you.
there's like a lowest form of comedy and stuff like that. That's the lowest form of scare.
Yeah,
is
I
a jump
agree.
scare.
I agree. And the thing about a lot of jump scares, though, is they're mostly used with like paranormal horror movies, and I'm getting really fed up with them these days because they're very oversaturated. But whenever they have like the ghost jump scare you, then all of a sudden the person's like scared or they're running away or something, and then the ghost is gone for that
Yeah.
scene. When they do the jump scare, they don't let the audience face what's just scaring them right now, so they don't hang on to that scare they just got you,
They're like,
which
"Oh,
is one of my
fuck."
favorite things when I've like I remember I read this really cool book about the psychology of horror movies, and that's why slasher movies are my favorite horror movies, because a lot of the times when they do the jump scare, they make you sit in that shit as it's going on. So when Jason comes around the fucking corner, like, they don't have them like go, oh my god, and then Jason like disappears when their friend shows up. Like,
Right.
Jason's fucking there, and you got to face it. Like, I'm super excited for this new Chucky movie because I love the first Child's Play. And
What's it? Child's Play 3? Is it the one where they have the paintball?
yeah, I
And
think
he puts the real bullets in the gun. Oh, dude, that fucked me up as a kid.
yeah. Chucky fucked me up as a kid. Now the original Child's Play is still entertaining, but mainly because it's like funny and goofy.
Yeah.
But
It's like watching Ace Ventura.
Yeah, this new one actually looks pretty creepy. I don't want to say scary, but it looks creepy, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
But it's
maybe
just like,
that's what I need to. Maybe I should broaden my horizon to not be scared, but to be creeped out.
yeah. And I think a lot of times there's good modern horror movies that understand movies like Rosemary's Baby or like The Shining, where they understand that you don't need to scare your audience by jump scares. Sometimes like the situation or like what do they call it, the ambience of what's going on is creepy enough because the audience is expecting something scary to happen, because it's kind of like walking around in the dark.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for something spooky to happen, but nothing's going to happen. But the fact that you're in that environment kind of puts it makes your skin crawl. And that's why I loved Hereditary, because Hereditary only had like 2 jump scares in it, and they didn't jump up the music. They had something scary come out. And the rest of the time, they make you sit in these like very tense moments. And sometimes it's tense moments with no music and no jump scares. The whole scene is just fucking terrifying as you're watching it, and it builds this intensity, and you really can't top that compared to most horror movies.
Right.
And so I think that's part of the reason you make a really good horror movie is like scenes where you're not like terrified in the moment, but you're just so creeped out and you don't know what's going on, and there's this uncertainty and there's this suspense that can really sink you into your seat as you're watching a movie.
I feel you.
And a lot of the times with movies, at least the directors who understand like the psychology of their audience, you can really captivate them in that way.
Yeah.
And I'm always amazed when I see a director who can do that. Not just in horror movies, but like in action movies, when they can get you to really fucking sit down and pay attention. Kind of like you just kind of lose the surroundings that you're in.
Yeah.
You've got these blinders on and you're
And
watching a movie.
you see the guy like dodge something, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially movies where you're so enthralled with the action that you're not thinking about, okay, like that can't really happen. You're just like, that was fucking awesome. Like I
Yeah.
remember that was the first time I had that with an action movie was Die Hard.
Yeah.
When I first saw Die Hard, I didn't question like all the stuff with the movie. I was just like, holy fuck, did you see that shit?
Yeah.
And all that was going on. And I think, at least in an action movie sense, just singling action movies for now, I think the last time I felt that experience was when I saw Mad Max Fury Road. When I saw that one, I was like completely enthralled and I was in the moment.
I don't. Then once again, I don't watch a lot of action movies.
You're a comedy guy, but that's fine.
But
man. You
what's
have your
weird is
taste.
I never would have. I didn't know that about myself
Mm-hmm.
until probably the last couple of years.
Mm.
I just thought I watched movies like everybody else. I didn't realize that. Like, I don't watch movies. Like, dude, I literally watch things that are related to comedy, and that's pretty much it. Like, I enjoy a good. I really enjoy a good laugh, man.
Yeah.
I
I
enjoy
can't blame you.
laughing.
And that's the same for me. Like I said, it's just I'm more
Look at
than
that
in
creepy
general
shit.
movie fan. But like I didn't realize that part of myself that's like really into like analyzing movies and digging deep into them until like the last few years.
The pictures from doorbell cams freak me the fuck out.
Like creepy ones or
Like that one, and it's clearly not real, but like door cam footage is like it can be like that. That's the kind of shit that scares me. Is like things that are so like reality fucking terrifies me.
I was about to say, you know what actually is like a really good like intense thing for me to do when I don't want to watch a horror movie, but I want to get that scared feeling.
Creepypastas.
Creepypastas are like those channels that get sent like voiceover
Dude,
readers.
creepypastas sound delicious.
They do.
Like that sounds like a dope ass dish.
But I like hearing these channels where they got these guys that are really good like voiceover readers, and they get sent like stories of people who encounter like creepy shit.
Yeah.
And not like ghosts, like just fucking stalkers or people that have tried to attack them or like weirdos, and they read the stories out.
Yeah.
And like it's just a guilty pleasure. Like I'll sit in my seat like gripping my hands together.
I was watching one last night. I can't remember the dude's name, but he kind of talks like this.
That's Mr. Nightmare.
Are you sure?
Where he has like a somewhat Boston accent, but he's like got a very good monotone voice.
Well, maybe he's like so this YouTube stalker, he didn't know if he was being watched or not.
Dude, that's the Burger King foot lettuce guy. Have you seen that meme?
I don't know.
Look up Burger King foot lettuce on YouTube right now.
But then he's
He does the number 15
Yeah.
Burger King foot lettuce. The
Yeah.
last thing you want on your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus. But it turns out that may be exactly what you get.
yeah. What's his name?
Right there.
This one?
No, the one at top. The 27-second one.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus. But as it
But
turns,
how he talks is that creeps me out. But then at the end of his videos, he's like, "I got a new music video. Give me your honest opinion of whether it is good or not." But like, I don't like how he talks. Like he doesn't use proper punctuation.
Yeah.
In his voice, and
He talks like
that's
that.
creepier than half the fucking shit he's talking about.
Yeah. That's
It's crazy that you were able to. That I did a good enough impression that you knew who the fuck I was talking about.
I was talking to I think Matt about this the other day, and I was like, honestly, if I say I was like trying to redo my major, and for some reason colleges started like giving like degrees in memology, or you could become like a historian in memes, or like a memologist,
Yeah,
I would hands down do that.
hands down. Huh?
Because again, it's something I love doing, is like looking into memes and shit that goes all around. But
Burger King
foot
foot fungus. Yeah, that's so creepy. Unfortunately, man, I think we got to wrap up. My girlfriend's gonna be walking in the door any second.
all right,
So,
cool.
I don't want my dogs are gonna go ape shit the moment she gets home. But
Okay.
I'm gonna play some Mishka Shubali.
Ooh, I love Mishka.
Mishka Shubali.
I got to meet that guy.
He's a dope motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude.
I appreciate you coming on, dude. Sorry
No
it took
problem.
so long
That's
to make
cool,
it
man.
happen again. But we have the 806 tonight. That's gonna be a good time.
And
I
then,
need to come do your podcast.
Yeah, I'll have you on.
That'd be super.
And if
fun.
it's about the whole homebody thing, you know what? Honestly, dude, my equipment isn't like this. I could honestly just come over here with my stuff,
that'll work.
and we can record that way.
Super down.
We can
Super
do-
down.
We can do it.
I don't
that
know
way.
why I don't like leaving my house. It's been a development over like the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
And
it
we
is.
said we were going to talk about The Office, correct?
Dude, we can do The Office.
And then I remember Brett said she wanted to talk about either It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something else.
Motherfucker, she does not get the
No,
Sunny
we were
episode.
talking
I get the
about-
Sunny episode. Are you kidding me?
We were talking about From Dusk Till Dawn.
I will
That's what we're going
fight
to talk about.
whoever I have to fist fight to get the Sunny episode.
That's what Matt said about the South Park episode.
He can
wants the
have
South
it. I
Park
don't want
episode.
South Park. I want Sunny. Fuck The Office. Sunny, bro.
You want to do Sunny before we do The Office?
I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Me too, man. So we'll do that one first.
Yeah.
We'll do that one first.
I'll fist fight for both of those.
All right, they're yours, man. I'm not really.
No, just send them my way. Let
Yeah.
them know whoever wants to do those, they have to fight me first. And if they're bigger than me, if it's Kevin, he can have it.
Kevin, I don't know. I think Kevin said he wanted to talk about The Equalizer.
He wants to talk about how high.
Oh man.
All right, Mishka Shubali. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Writing's not that easy.
Every time I try to do it seamlessly, I get a commercial.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. The potato peelings in the sink did not turn into vodka as I had hoped. I only start to need a drink after the liquor stores have closed. You left a bunch of dirty Kleenex underneath the mattress like an unwanted batch of kittens. Everybody's got secrets and I'm forgotten, but I don't mistake it for forgiving. I heard you changed your name again, but don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la. A woman on crutches buying a pregnancy test at Safeway. The woman at the laundromat can't meet my eyes. Girls at the bus stop, the stripper downstairs. Know some of the girls in some of the movies that I watch sometimes. A woman calling on the telephone, losing patience. Her voice sounds like whiskey and milk. No, I can't pay the bill, but please call back. I got to know that you're alright. I heard you changed your name again. Darling, don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la, I heard you changed your name again. Darling, don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la.